A butter board utilizes accessible pantry staples to create a visual centerpiece centered on a single layer of softened fat. By using these common ingredients, it creates a communal appetizer without the high cost associated with a traditional board of imported meats. The success of this arrangement depends on how you balance 4 specific flavor profiles across that canvas: sweet, salty, bitter, and umami. Construction begins with basic tools: a flat wooden board, an offset spatula, a small amount of olive oil, and 2 sticks of high-quality butter. Step 1 requires a strict thermal time constraint. To reach the correct consistency, the 2 sticks of butter must rest at room temperature for exactly 1 hour before you begin spreading. This process relies on structural layering and precise temperature control. By following these rules, you can transform simple ingredients into a complex starter. While the butter softens, slice 3 cloves of garlic and fry them in hot olive oil for 30 to 60 seconds per side. Once they are rigid and golden, remove them from the heat to drain and cool. Verify the temperature of your butter. Cold butter will physically tear the bread when guests attempt to scoop it. Conversely, melting it in the microwave breaks the emulsion, resulting in an uncontrollable oily pool. A full hour on the counter is required for the correct spreadable consistency. To scale the board for your group, use a quantitative baseline. Measure out approximately 2 tablespoons of butter for every guest attending. Apply the butter to the board. Use your spatula or the back of a spoon to press and swoop, carving deep, deliberate topographical peaks and valleys into the surface. Maintain a 1-inch bare perimeter around the entire edge of the board. As guests drag bread through the center, the butter is pushed outward. This negative space acts as a buffer to keep the food on the board and off the table. Controlling this physical topography is vital. The deep valleys are designed to catch and hold the toppings, ensuring an even distribution of ingredients on every slice of bread. Begin the flavoring phase with a heavy application of large geometric sea salt flakes. Sprinkle them so they sit exclusively on the highest peaks of the butter. Standard fine table salt causes a structural failure in this application. Because it is so small, it dissolves quickly into the moisture of the butter, making the base overly salty. Large flakes provide a necessary textural crunch. Next, evenly distribute the fresh zest of 1 lemon and 1 orange across the entire surface area. Butterfat is dense. The acidic citrus oils in the zest chemically cut through that lipids, brightening the overall palate. These specific elements establish the chemical foundation of the dish. The salt provides texture, while the citrus oils counteract the heavy lipids, balancing the palate before the final toppings are applied. Layer on the textural components by strategically scattering a half cup of crushed pistachios, followed by the cooled, fried garlic chips. To introduce heat and color, apply a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, along with finely torn fresh dill and sliced chives. This cross-section shows the critical sizing metric for your toppings. If a nut or piece of garlic is too large, the bread will simply push it aside. Everything must be chopped to a micro scale, so it sits flush within the butter and scoops upward easily. Finally, apply the seal. Use a heavy, continuous drizzle of 3 tablespoons of honey across the entire topological surface. The viscosity of the honey acts as a binding agent. It flows into the valleys, locking the textural elements into the butter so they remain attached when the board is served. The delivery vessels must be structurally sound. Use robust, warm, crusty options, like sourdough or thick French bread. Weak structures, like banana bread, will disintegrate when guests try to drag them through the dense butter. Alongside the bread, include fresh whole radishes. Their sharp, peppery profile serves as a secondary vessel and a functional palate cleanser. In germ-conscious environments, you can alter the scaling protocol. Divide the master recipe into individual baby boards, maintaining the ratio of 2 tablespoons of butter per person. For dairy-free versions, the thermal rules change. Vegan butter substitutes lack stabilizing milk fat and will separate into an oily liquid at room temperature. They must be assembled and served directly from the refrigerator. The utility of this dish lies in its modularity. By following a strict protocol for temperature and spacing, you can transform everyday pantry staples into a functional, shared culinary experience.